Hi, hello, how are you? So this week I decided to track how much I read, specifically how many pages I read, and this is that reading vlog. Enjoy! Recently, I found this thing called audiobooks, and I have the Libby app through a library, so I can listen to books, which is a game changer for me. I was always really anti-audiobooks, but I've been proven wrong. So anyways, the audiobook that I'm currently listening to is Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind, and it's written by Harari. And I'm trying to do the thing with audiobooks that I'm mostly listening to audiobooks that are non-fiction, because somehow listening to it is so much easier than reading it. So I'm currently on page 156 in my book, and I'm gonna start it on audiobook while I organize, I think, 1 or 2 shelves today. So far, so good. I'm really disliking humans right now because I'm reading this. It's Tuesday. Today has been a very podcast focus heavy day. New episode goes up every Tuesday. Kaast maailmast, if you're Estonian, please do listen to us. I love this podcast so much, and I feel like it's such a cheesy thing to say, but it truly feels like a baby or like my child. Anyways, yeah, I'm just very passionate about this project and podcast, and I love what we're doing. So anyways, listen to us, Spotify, Apple Podcast, we're on Instagram, do follow us please. Yeah, so anyways, that was my main focus for today. Also said bye to one of my friends who I've known since middle school. She's moving to Australia, which is kind of crazy. So I haven't had that much time to read today, but from yesterday I decided to track how many pages I've read. I've never done this before. Also, disclaimer, I'm currently in the process of moving and putting a lot of effort into podcast, so it would be easier once I moved. And yeah, I'm not working 9 to 5 or anything, and I'm also not studying right now, so maybe if you feel like I might be reading more than you, then that's the reason. I just have more time. But honestly, I don't think I read that much. And sometimes when I watch these videos, I'm like, oh, how many pages a day I've read? I'm like, I'm such a slow reader and I don't read anything. But yeah, I mean, it's very individual how much you read. So firstly, I read chapters 18 to 29 yesterday of book that I'm currently reading on Kindle, and that's called In Your Dreams by Sarah Adams. I read 69 pages of that. It's in the same series as When in Rome, Practice Makes Perfect, and Beg, Borrow, Steal. So this is the 4th one in that series. Honestly, so far so good. I really enjoy Sarah Adams' writing, and it's a small town, and this one is kind of childhood friends to lovers, even though they weren't really friends when they were little, but they've known each other, and he's her brother's best friend, and he's been in love with her for years, and it's just sweet and cute, and I really recommend it if you are after a cute, easy read. And then I did audiobook Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Harari, and I'm really enjoying this book. It's frustrating, it's making me mad at the world, but if you're interested in why we are the way we are today, read this. I mean, there's so much ground to cover when you are doing a brief history of humankind, but so far I'm 197 pages in, and I think Harari is doing an excellent job. I listened to 41 pages of that yesterday, so in total I read 110 pages yesterday, or I got through 110 pages. I don't know, are we counting audiobooks as reading? I mean, I am, because it's still, in some ways going through a book. Anyways, and that was my statistics for yesterday. I will let you know tomorrow what I read today, how much I read today. Plan is, it's 7 p.m. Plan is to get through In Your Dreams. I'm 84% done with that book, so I could read a new fun book tomorrow. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, and I will update you tomorrow. Good evening. I have a sleeping dog next to me. Anything you want to say, Fee? I don't think she has anything to say right now. Anyways, it's Wednesday evening. Check-in for yesterday. How many pages did I end up reading? I read 77 pages, and I did finish In Your Dreams by Sarah Adams. It's a cute romance. What more do you want? I didn't give a rating to it, maybe 3.5 stars. It does the job. So anyways, now what time is it? It's like after 11. I have not read today a single page. So before I go to bed, I want to read at least like 5 pages. And I'm going to try and read. I am going to read something from my physical TBR because I'm moving at the end of the month and I have books in my room that I have not touched, but I do own. So anyways, I pulled 4 books that I might be most interested in reading. And to be honest, first of them is not my book. I borrowed it from a friend. It's Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. I feel like this will be a separate video because I just feel like I want to do that, so I'm not gonna start that today. Then I have Carrie Soto is Back. I read exactly 21 pages of this when I was ill, so I don't remember any of it, but this is potential. Then I have Sally Rooney Intermezzo, and for some reason I've been eyeing this book up for a long time. Didn't like Normal People. I don't know why I want to read this book, but I don't think the time is right now. And then I also have Cleopatra and Frankenstein because I love Blue Sisters. Blue Sisters was my favorite book of 2025. But to be honest, I feel like I'm gonna read Carrie Soto is Back. I want something fun and gripping, and I think this might be it. So, and now I'm gonna relax, read, and go to bed in like the next 40 minutes. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Happy Thursday. Yesterday I read 17 pages before I fell asleep, and it was 17 pages of Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Today I've already read more. I'm finished with the first part and I've gotten the whole character overview, or main character Carrie Soto. She's basically the greatest tennis player in the world. I'm hooked already because it is Taylor Jenkins Reid, and all the books, I've only read 2. I've read Malibu Rising. Actually, I read 3 of her books. I read Malibu Rising, I read Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I read Daisy Jones and the Six. This is in the same universe because they have already mentioned the character from Malibu Rising. It takes place mostly in the 90s. I'm having a really good time. I just love the way this book flows. The character is so, I don't want to say complex, but she's not the most likable character, but I understand why she's saying some things that she's saying. Today, I just want to read, hoping I'm gonna get a good chunk of this done today, because genuinely, it's all I can think about. Hello. I have huge reading updates. It's Friday. And yesterday I finished, actually that's a lie. This morning I read the last 30 pages of Carrie Soto is Back. So I finished this book in basically in a day and a half. I have the exact amount of pages I read written down. So I read 291 pages yesterday of Carrie Soto is Back. And I loved it. It is such a good book. I was crying, and I don't remember the last time I cried while reading. So for me, instantly, that was okay, 5 stars, let's go. Also, I just love the whole concept of the book. I've also played tennis, so I enjoyed that part. I enjoyed the father-daughter relationship side. I also enjoyed the very subtle side plot of romance. Carrie Soto is not a likable person, but by the end of the book, I loved her. And I think that's just excellent writing. Or I don't know. I haven't read a book in a while that I've just felt full, all different kinds of emotions, and finishing it in basically a day. So first 5 star of 2026 for sure. And after that, I finished it this morning. I will do the whole pages count tomorrow, but I did listen to a bit of Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind this morning, and then I decided to start the new book, and that book for me is The White Album by Joan Didion. It's a memoir, talks about 60s, and What intrigued me about this was basically the cover, and it says, I imagined that my own life was simple and sweet, and sometimes it was, but there were odd things going around town. There were rumors, there were stories, and I'm not that deep into it, so I haven't figured it out, but some of the lines and sentences and paragraphs, I'm just in awe of her writing. And I think because I also really enjoy music, and especially I like in some ways I feel like 60s 70s music for me is very dear to my heart. I already like found stories here, for example from the band The Doors with Jim Morrison. I'm excited to read this more, and I don't know why I picked it up. It was just calling my name, and I think this might also be a right book at the right time. So good evening. Today has been the perfect Saturday. I've chilled the whole day. I've literally done nothing of importance, and it's been amazing. So, can't believe we only have one more day of this. But, anyways, the statistics for yesterday are as follows. So, I finished Carrie Soda is Back. Read 35 pages of this. Already gave a review of this yesterday. Finished it yesterday, and to be honest, I'm still thinking about this book, and I'm so pleasantly surprised by how much I loved it. Then I listened to 30 pages of Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. I'm enjoying it, and I think it's very interesting. And I have nothing else to say about this. And then I started The White Album by Joan Didion, and I read 37 pages of this. And today I read some more. I will give you the final statistics tomorrow. Anyways, it's a big day for the book community, or a big day for people who love rom-coms and romance books, because the movie For People We Meet on Vacation came out yesterday. The author is Emily Henry, and I read this book. I think it's one of my favorite Emily Henry books, and I watched it tonight. And honestly, I really enjoyed it. It's such a cute rom-com, and I know it's not exactly like the book, but I don't really care. But now I kind of want to reread some of parts of the book. Like I kind of want to read the ending. I kind of want to read the beginning. I want to skim through it. So I think I might even do that tonight. And yeah, I mean, tomorrow's Sunday. I'm not going to start like another book. Maybe, hopefully I will finish this book. I have like 100 pages left, and I'm not doing much tomorrow, and I want to also skim read some of it. I might even do that tonight, because I'm so hooked and hyper fixated on People We Meet on Vacation right now after I watched the movie. So that was my statistics for yesterday. I'm aware also that I haven't filmed me really reading, but yeah, next time I do this video or reading vlog, I will do better. Okay? But yeah, because I low-key started editing this video, and I was like, oh, these clips are just me talking about what I read. But hey, it's okay. I'm treating this like a video diary. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow, and then I will also do like a bigger review, recap, conclusion. For the last evening check-in, I decided to switch my background. Anyways, every time I do my yin yoga class on Sunday, I feel so relaxed after. I feel so zen, and I highly recommend everyone to try yin yoga. But anyways, about yesterday. I read 82 pages of The White Album yesterday by Joan Didion. I really do enjoy it. I mean, I think if you're interested in LA and Hollywood and California in the 60s and 70s, then you should definitely read it. And I mean, Joan Didion as an author is just incredible. And I already have a few of her other books in mind that I want to read after this one. And then I did get sidetracked yesterday and I read 3 chapters of People We Meet on Vacation. Specifically, I read the epilogue, I read the chapter before the epilogue, and I read the Norway chapter. And all of that combined was 38 pages. So I will see you tomorrow for Sunday statistics. Hi, let's do a quick recap of what I read yesterday. So yesterday I read 108 pages of The White Album by Joan Didion, and therefore I finished it. I don't think I would usually read this much to finish it this quickly, but I wanted to wrap up this video and give you my thoughts or rating on this book, so I finished it yesterday. And then I was really into my audiobook yesterday and I listened to 87 pages of Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. I still haven't finished it, but I'm really enjoying it, and I think it's so fascinating the way Harari talks about the human history. And I know there's been some criticism on how he approaches it, and it's a very Western worldview, but I mean, you always have to be critical of whatever you're reading, but I think it just gives you a good overview of what's happening, or like how did we get here, in a sense that, hey, these are like some of the big historical events. I especially am enjoying the part in the science revolution, so like why did statistics become a thing and so on. So yeah, I mean, I'm still not finished with it, but every time I start listening to it I am fascinated. So that's been my Sunday. So if I did my calculations correctly, which I really hope I did, I read 754 pages, just physical pages. So I finished the book, read 2 books back to back, and read some chapters from a 4th book. And then with an audiobook, I consumed altogether 912 pages of information writing. And honestly, I'm happy with that. Quick thoughts on all the books I read. So first, I finished In Your Dreams by Sarah Adams. Let's say 3.5 stars. It did what it was supposed to do. Small town. The MMC has been in love with the FMC for years. Childhood, friends to lovers, kinda. And yeah, that's it. Then I read Carrie Soto is Back, which is the first 5-star read of 2026 for me. Absolutely amazing. I also love how it portrayed how women are viewed by media and what it does to a well-known person. And also I really enjoyed that Taylor Jenkins Reid wrote like a unlikable character. I mean, Carrie Soto she's not really likable, but by the end you just want her to succeed and you understand why she does what she's doing. And it also made me want to play tennis again. So highly recommend. And then I finished The White Album by Joan Didion. This is a memoir, talks about LA, California, Hollywood in the 60s and 70s. There are a lot of pop culture references, some honestly that I didn't know before because I'm not that well versed in some things that happened in the 60s and 70s, but that was a great book. And I did Google some stuff and it made the reading experience more enjoyable because I knew like I could follow, like after I did some research, I could follow what she was talking about. And I don't usually like to rate memoirs, but honestly, I just put it 5 stars on Goodreads because I love Joan Didion's writing and there's so many other books now that I want to read by her. I read some of her essays in the past, but never like a full-length book. And I also really enjoy Eve Babbitt, and there's this book I saw on Goodreads that's called Didion and Babbitt, and now I'm really intrigued because for some reason Eve Babbitt's books are something, her texts in general are something that I really enjoy, and I know that Joan Didion and Eve Babbitt kinda were in the same circles, so I want to read more about also their dynamic and relationship. And then a few chapters from People We Meet on Vacation, specifically the Norway chapter and the last chapter and then the epilogue. I will probably at some point read more of it. I'm not really a rereader, but because the movie came out, I was like, oh, I want to relive some of the memories, and I just have such good memories from People We Meet on Vacation, and I just love Poppy and Alex's characters. And I get that the movie is almost completely different, or like it's different, but I don't mind it. I still enjoyed it. And then I read or I listened to Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. I'm really enjoying that book, but I also like to take my time with it. There's so much information and I listen to audiobooks in very certain situations. So yeah, this was my reading journey this week. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will probably do more of these in the future because I'm actually really curious to see how much I read. Please subscribe if you like this, and I will hopefully see you soon. Bye!